Hey guys, Bulldog here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So what this video is going to cover is I do this pretty much daily, stretching out the hips, the lower back, right along in this area right here, because everything comes from the center and works its way out. So we want to make sure we keep a strong, tight core. We need to keep that flexibility, right? And things like that, so that way we can move, right? We're able to do all the things that we need to do. So stick around, and I'm just gonna kind of walk you through and explain how I do certain exercises and why. So first thing I like to do is go ahead and stretch out that lumbar of that lower back, right? So right along in here. So some of these are kind of like yoga moves as well, but a little bit more dynamic, right? So we want to push our hips forward and then rock back. So doing this right here, what that does is that gets that movement going, and you don't have to necessarily just sit there and do your static stretching, right? So it's called necessarily dynamic movement, right? Dynamic movement, all that simply means is just moving, right? So dynamic warm-up versus a static warm-up. Static warm-up would be your stretches and things like that. But never stretch, static stretch before your exercise, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna take away from your strength part. Dynamic warming up and dynamic stretching is the most important thing, okay? So, next thing is I want you to get on your knee, right? Leave that foot out there. And then all we're gonna do is here, and then we're gonna pop up. Let them hips go sideways, okay? I usually like to do one at a time first to kind of get everything moving. And then, like I said here in a second, I will show you how to do both and go back and forth, okay? So use your mat here, nice low stance, and we're just rocking those hips back and forth, just like that. And then from there, what we want to do, since we're already down in this low sumo type of squat, right, is we want to kind of just raise up and then come back down. And again, now we've had left and right movement, now we're going to do up and down movement, okay? And again, making sure we're squeezing those glutes on the way up, but most importantly, stretching in the groin here and the glutes back here, a little bit of hamstrings as well. Now, once you get up to the standing position from there, I like to do those hip rotations. So all you need to do is basically put your hands on your hips. Now, this does take a little bit of balance, but balance is also a part of longevity, right? Because as we get older and our muscles atrophy, we start to lose a little bit of cognitive skills when it comes to how to make our body work properly, okay? Next, I like to do the front and back pendulum swings, and then I'll do left and right on each side. So again, from the hip, takes a little bit of balance, right? So you start to lose a little bit, get your kickstand down, right? And then here, just from the hip. I usually like to stay on the same leg first before I switch over. And again, now we're just gonna do those pendulum swings in front. Go ahead and do that other side. And again, straight from the hip. Okay, we don't want to do any kick in or anything like that because we're still working in the hip area, okay? There we go. Now, everybody's favorite, the lunge, right? So, start here, get a lunge position and come all the way down, right? Then once you do that, all we're gonna simply do is press our hips down and in, just like this. And then come back. As you come back, right, let that knee give a little bit, and then come back. So now we can stretch the hamstring. And then we move it all together. And then just like everything else, we gotta make sure we do it on both sides. So again, getting that good high knee position or low lunge with your knee down. And then coming back and forth. There we go. Now, one of my favorites probably is where all we're simply doing is, again, we're going to take the lower back, and all we're trying to do is loosen everything up, right? So go ahead and lay down flat on your back. Pick one leg, it doesn't matter at first because we're going to do both of them anyway. And then just let that leg lap over there like that. Now, when it comes to mobility and working things, you can't just jerk stuff, right? So what you got to do is inhale and exhale. And you can see as I do that, every time I exhale, I let gravity help me and relax. So watch where my foot is now. There we go. Good. So the whole time you're doing this, make sure everything goes nice and slow, all right? And you want to make sure that your shoulder blades stay down and it's only your lower torso from the hips down that's doing this movement. And again, all these movements, one of the most important things is breathing. Good, exhale. And inhale. And release. There we go. Good. Now we went left and right while we're in the supinated position or lying on our back position. Now we want to bring our hip up. Again, one leg's going to stay down. It's going to want to be like this, right? Because that's easier. So let that leg be down and just pull it into the chest. Again, big inhale and exhale. Now, once you get that position, what you want to do is you want to take your knee. Let me turn a little bit for you. You want to take your knee and kind of bring it up towards that shoulder on that side rather than the chest. So that we can get a little bit more pull to the outside. There we go. Good. And then we're pulling it off to the right shoulder this time. Good. So, all right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. All your stretching and dynamic movement and things like that, you want to hold each one of those positions anywhere from like 30 to 60 seconds, depending on how old you are, okay? The older you are, the longer you want to be in those positions, right? Never rush, okay? Never move fast. We don't want to try to surprise the body, right? Because that's when injuries happen. So we want to make sure we pay attention and get to know our body and how it moves, okay? So make sure you like, share, and comment. Bulldog Essential Fitness. Come back here to see me for tips and tricks on fitness. Until next time, Bulldog.